Welcome to Flow with Tip. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am Tiffany Singleton, also known as TIP or Tip, here to discuss hot topics and trending issues with truth, inspiration, and practicality. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that button below and also click on the bell so that you can receive notification of any new content that's going to be uploaded to the channel. Welcome and thank you for watching. So tonight we're going to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart, and I love talking about communication. Communication can make or break any type of relationship. It doesn't matter whether it's business, whether it is familial with family, whether it is a romantic relationship, whether it's what we call now situationships, or whether it is a marriage. Any type of relationship where we have an encounter with people, communication is very, very important. Whether we need to discuss something that is good, whether or not we need to discuss something that is bad. And most people avoid confrontation. We do not like confrontation when in fact it can help heal and move a relationship forward. So in many relationships, nobody, absolutely nobody is going to agree or get along all of the time. Disagreements are going to pop up. You might like something and somebody else's opinion of it may be disagreeable. So we have to learn how to come to a happy medium and to have those discussions so that the relationship continues to flourish. It's okay to disagree, but we should disagree the right way, not to damage a relationship or not to destroy the trust within a relationship. So let's talk about that. And what we teach in therapy is what we call fair fighting rules. And most times when we're having an argument or we're trying to resolve a disagreement, in most cases, people are trying to prove themselves or prove that the other person, in fact, is wrong and I am right. Oh, I'm going to show you that what you did was wrong and I really don't appreciate that. When the true result and goal of the encounter and the discussion really should be how to restore the relationship and how to come to a compromise so that one, whatever the situation, if it is decided on, it won't happen again, and how to restore it so that it can move forward. So let's talk about rule number one. Rule number one is first, determine why you're upset. Is it because someone really did not speak to you this morning and you thought they were acting shady? Or are you really upset because you have some other issues with that person? Something from a year ago that they did that you never discussed. But all of a sudden now it's because they're acting funny or shady. Or perhaps it could be something simple. Somebody just simply in the house, your spouse forgot to do something, or they may have thrown you late this morning. Well, guess what? Is that really the issue? Or are you upset because they didn't help you iron clothes last night, or they forgot to take out the trash? What really is the issue? So the first thing is to decide, why am I angry? Why am I upset? Number two, focus on one issue at a time. So it is very, very common that some arguments, some disagreements, they just spiral out of control. Why? Because just sometimes we let stuff just pile up. We keep it internalized, and then now it becomes just this big elephant in the room, this big blow up that all of a sudden one thing now triggers something from 5 years ago. And so now we're unloading to the other person things from 5 years, 10 years. And yes, I've seen it go all the way back to 20 years, things that we've never really had the courage or just the boldness to address the other person about. So now all of a sudden it's like a cannon, just pow. I mean, everything at one time. And then you really can't resolve it because it's just too many things to try to sort through at one time. So it's very, very important that you discuss one thing at a time. Focus on one issue at a time. Number three, degrading language. Now, we all have done it. I have done it. Sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, we say things that we really should not say because in our minds, we're not really trying to resolve the issue, but we're in fact trying to make the other person feel just as bad as we think we feel at the moment. Oh, I'm going to get you. Oh, I'm going to make sure you're not happy because I'm not happy. So we resort to using degrading language. We start name calling. We're saying things that damages people's character, may damage somebody's manhood, womanhood, makes them feel really, really bad and less of a person. Now let's talk about that. What exactly is that going to prove? What is that going to do to benefit the whole process or to even help the argument move forward? Nothing. It's going to infuriate the other person. And what's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, it's just going to go back and forth with the name calling. And then you're back to the same thing that you had in the beginning. No resolution. And 2 parties absolutely mad and upset with each other. Number 4. Express your feelings using words. So it is very, very tough for some people to be able to express themselves in a verbal way. A lot of people may feel like, I'm pissed off about what you did. I'm very, very upset about a decision you made and you didn't include me. I am just downright angry. I am really, really sick of you at this moment. But I don't know how to really tell you that without things going stage left, going the opposite direction in the way that it should be going. So in therapy, we teach people what we call our I statements. And I statements is a very simple formula where you just say, I feel, then you fill in the blank with whatever that feeling is, when, and then you fill in the blank with whatever the situation is that caused the feeling. So that's a simple way to try to get your point across, to open up the discussion for how you really, really are feeling about whatever it is that you need to discuss, whether it is something that happened in a business meeting, whether it is something that happened within the marriage, whether you're mad at a sibling, whether you're upset with a parent. The I statement can be very, very effective in the fair fighting process. Number 5, take turns speaking. Take turns speaking. In most cases, it becomes just a battle of back and forth, cutting people off. Allow the other person to speak. Allow the other person to fully verbalize what it is that they need to say, whether it is verbalize their feelings, so that you can get a very good understanding of what the issue really is. And if you are the one speaking, you also would like that common courtesy for someone not to cut you off while you're talking as well, so that you continue to get your point across and so that the discussion can continue. Also use reflective listening. So when we say reflective, it's just like what it sounds like, a reflection. So when the other person is saying something to you, you always want to make sure that you're getting good understanding of what is being presented. And you can just simply say, so let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You are saying that, and then you fill in the blank. Am I hearing you correctly in that you feel this way when I did this? And that you really am asking that I stop. That is simple reflective listening, just to make sure, and it also just to make sure that you're understanding, but also to let the other person know that you are in fact engaged and you are concerned about what they're saying, that you are concerned about how they feel, and that you really are being intentional about how that you guys can resolve the issue and move forward. Number 6, be honest. You have to be honest. Sometime in conversation, we add or we take away to get our point across. That's not going to be healthy, and that's not going to help the discussion at all. So we don't want to add and we don't want to take away. It's very important that we talk facts when we're presenting something to somebody. You may feel a certain way, but how beneficial is that if you have substantial evidence or something factual to say, well, I do feel this way because you did X, Y, and Z. And that helps the other person be able to identify what it is that you're actually talking about, so that they don't feel like you're just making something up to become confrontational, or You're just subjectively in your feelings. So always try to have something factual that'll help you present what it is that you need to present, and also validate how you're feeling. Feelings are very, very important, but we also want to help the person to fully understand what the issue is. Number 7, no yelling. No yelling. We know that things can get up to 10, sometimes 20 when we're trying to talk to people. And for some reason, we think loudness and volume gets our point across, when in fact, it would actually shut down a situation. So your volume can stay at a 5. Your volume can stay at just where I am at right now, so that you can be received in the right manner, and so things will come across in the right manner, so whoever you're addressing the issue with can be receptive. Tone is very important. Volume is very important. When you raise your volume, it's going to raise something else in the other person, and then what's going to happen is we're going to end up with a screaming match. Once again, nothing being resolved. Just two people, once again, probably going to end up leaving and nothing resolved. And then the madness just continues. Number 7, no stonewalling. That's the easy way out in a discussion. So that's when stonewalling, if you're unfamiliar with that, that's when someone is like totally tuning someone out while they're talking. I'm really not feeling you tonight. I really don't want to hear what you have to say. Just please poof, be gone. Stop talking right now because I am not listening to you. That is stonewalling. That is not acknowledging that you are a willing participant in discussing whatever the issue is at hand, or that you're even wanting to participate in coming to a mutual agreement, a mutual understanding, or trying to resolve that, or in fact that you might not value the relationship enough that you even care what the other person has to say or think. So try not to stonewall, but to be open to discussion. Number 8, you have to always assess the situation. If things get way too heated and it seems like both people are escalating, feelings are escalating, things are getting hot and heated, know when to take a time out. It's totally okay to say, hey, you know what, John, I think we need to just take 10 minutes. Let's just park for a second, and we're just going to come back in a few minutes, and we're going to continue. I really think we need to calm down at this point. We really need to get ourselves together so we can come back and be effective in what it is that we're trying to do here. Number 9, try to come to a compromise. Aim for a win-win situation or solution if possible. We all know that in most cases, one person is going to want their way, and that is it. They just want somebody to hear them out, and they want to say, well, this is what I expect to happen, and that's just it. And so what happens is you don't come to a compromise. So we have to figure out what is best for both parties. Do we stop the communication, or do we just learn how to respond? And I have a personal scenario just like that. One of my friends used some language that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I knew exactly what the person was trying to say, but the whole word choice just threw me off. And so I asked her, I said, please do not say that to me again. And for a moment, I think it threw her off because she was like, what? Don't tell me what to say. And we are like very, very good friends. I actually call her mother. She's like a mother figure to me. So we actually hashed it out. We talked it through. But what is very important is she took the time to understand where that came from. And so I had the opportunity to explain to her why that word choice actually offended me. And it wasn't anything really, really bad, but it's because how my mind perceived it. And so we talked about it, And so we came to a win-win. It wasn't that I was asking her to stop talking to me altogether or to not talk about that particular situation. But in fact, it was just, let's talk about how we can switch up the word choice a little bit. How you can make that statement to me again, but let's use a more positive word choice in that space. We had the conversation. We were good. We went on to the next topic. I mean, it did not make me hang up the phone and say I'm never going to talk to her again. She just totally offended me. So in that situation, it was a total win-win for me and my friend, who I also call mother. So what I'm saying here is there are no perfect relationships. There is no perfect communication, but we have to be really, really intentional about just keeping relationships healthy, about how we handle people, about how we express ourselves, because human nature, emotions are very, very critical. And just being able to communicate, I mean, it can build. Conflict can actually build a relationship. It can actually make a relationship stronger if we take time to work through them. But it can also, on the flip side, damage what can be an awesome relationship if we don't take the time to have those discussions. So what am I saying? Take time to have the conversation. But let's just be conscious of how we present ourselves, how we approach the situation, and most importantly, let's fight fair. Until next time, see you soon.